In this video, you'll activate the 2014 theme and rearrange 3 posts as sample posts for the photography site's homepage. Since we've imported the sample content XML file, we're able to see how all content types look in the theme. Now, we'll edit a couple of the posts to look how we predict the client will use them. Plus, we'll configure the theme's included featured content area on the homepage too. In this lesson, you'll experience how creating some sample content can help steer the design process as you configure a particular theme for the client. First, open up your local WordPress installation for the photography brochure site that we created in the last chapter. Make sure you're logged in to the dashboard, and roll over Appearance, Themes, and let's activate the 2014 theme. Now we'll just take a look at it. Once that's activated, I'll open it in a new tab and hit refresh. Great. Okay, the first thing we'll do is rearrange the home page just a little bit. Right now, if you remember, we've got the Hello World sample post that was created when we installed WordPress, and we've got some imported posts from the sample XML file. Let's create a few posts as if we were the photographer. Let's go over to the dashboard and roll over posts and create add new. I think what I'll do is create 3 posts. I'll speed up the video while I go through this process. And now what I'd like to do on each of the 3 posts is add a featured image. I'm going to go ahead and use the image we've been using. And here I'm speeding up the video again as I add an image to each one of these posts. Now, instead of having these posts in the uncategorized category, I'm going to create a new category for the posts that are photographs. Great, now that I have that category, I can go to the All Posts page, and I'm going to add each of these 3 posts into that category by using the Quick Edit button. And I'm going to take them out of the uncategorized category as well. By using the Quick Edit button, you can edit a few different items for each post quickly without having to open each post. There we go. Now within the sample content, I know I had that sticky post, and I'm going to go ahead and make that unsticky so that all I'm showing are the latest posts. And if you remember from the last video, we chose to show 3 posts in one on the archive pages and the home page. Now we're starting to look good. Now I don't have any content on each of those pages, but I'll paste some lorem ipsum text. If you remember, lipsum.com or lipsum.org is where you can get some sample text. And let's go into each one of those pages and paste a little text so that we can see what text would look like. Great, now that I've got some text in all three posts, let's refresh the page and see what that looks like on the home page. Nice. You may have noticed that the featured images are not reaching all the way to the far right side of their content area. These diagonal lines are an overlay that appears on top of the featured image, and it has to do with the image ratio. This standard size image, 1600 by 1200, is a little bit tall, and so when it places it in the featured image area, it doesn't reach all the way across. Let's go back into the dashboard, into the media library, and see what we can do about that. I'm going to go ahead and pick one of these sample images that came with our XML upload. If I choose Big Sur, you can see that I've gone ahead and I've actually edited the image from 1600 by 1200 down to 1600 by 800. Now by doing this, it's going to fit inside of this content area in terms of the featured image very well. Let's take a look. I'll click the featured image to edit which one I'm choosing. Let's go down to that Big Sur image, 1600 by 800. That's a ratio of 2:1. I'll update the page and let's see what it looks like. Now you can see that the image reaches to the far side of the page and wraps around the post area the way it's supposed to. Now let's take a look back inside the media library, and I just want to show you that editing an image inside the media library is non-destructive, meaning that you can save, it always saves the old image so that you can get back to the original. If I open up that image now, you can see that it is still the 2:1 ratio, 1600 by 800, and the edit image button is where I went below in order to edit the image, and there's a restore original image right here. Now since this image is embedded into that post, if I restore it back to the original size and then hit update, you can see that the dimensions will go back to 1600 by 1200, and if I go back and refresh the page, now that image will revert back to being the wrong proportions. So let me show you how to go in and edit an image inside the media library, and we'll fix this so that it fits inside the featured image area. Go ahead and open the media library and open an image that's a fairly large image, one of the samples or even the original image that you downloaded from wpdevcourse.com. And let's go ahead and click Edit below the image. Now there's a few different options that you have here. One of the things you can do is if you just place the mouse inside the image itself and drag a square open, we're going to be using the cropping function, and what I'll do is just drag this to the top left corner and then down over to here, and as I look to the right over here, I can make this 1600 by 800 if I like. I can even place it as a 2:1 ratio if I want, and it creates it into 1600 by 800. And now I'll just drag that into the place I want to crop and hit the crop button at the top left. Now I must hit the blue save button below the image so that I can save my changes. And now that made my changes there, and I can hit update under the media library. Great, now if I go back and refresh the page, you can see that that makes a nice big featured image. So I'll go through and change post 2 and post 1 as well, and you can go ahead and do the same. Now I went in and used another of the sample images, and I cropped it the same way I showed you how before. This one was an 800 pixel wide image, so it's 800 by 400. And I wanted to go ahead and use the fireweed image in post 1 here, but I don't want to lose the larger proportioned image that I already have. So one of the things I'm going to do, go back into the media library, I'm going to find that image, and I'm going to re-upload a second copy that I can feel free to edit. The way I'm going to just easily pull another version of this image into my browser, save it, and then re-upload it into the media library a second time is by using the file URL. If I just click right here and copy with Control-C and then open and place that URL into the browser will open the image. So I'm going to right click and say Save Image As, and then I can go and save that image wherever I want. This is my Downloads folder, so I'm going to label it Large Image 2 and save that image. Now if I go back into the media library, I can go ahead and hit Add New, select Files, and I can find that in my Downloads folder. There it is. Great, now if I go back to the media library, I can find that image and open it up, and now I'll make my edits, and I'll still have the original version in a separate place inside the media library. Go ahead and make my crop approximately 2:1, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit 2:1 enter. 1600 by 800. I'll hit the crop button and hit save. Now I need to go into the posts and find post 1 and replace the featured image with the newly cropped image that I just made. That way I have the original size if I ever want to use it inside of a post or somewhere else. There it is, 1600 by 800, set featured image. There's the correct proportions. Click update, and then let's look at the result. Nice, that looks much better. Now let's configure the featured area that's included with the 2014 theme at the top of the page. If we take a look under Appearance Themes and just take a look at the preview again, you can see that up top here there's a grid of featured images and posts that we can place at the top of the home page. The featured homepage content is controlled in the customizer under a featured content area. Featured content, then you can choose a grid or a slider, and it says tag name featured. So all I have to do is label my 3 posts with the tag featured, and I'll be able to put them up on the top there. It shows nothing up there yet because I need to label those posts with the tag featured. So if I hit Posts, All Posts, I can use the Quick Edit button to add tags. Now, Quick Edit's not the only place you can add tags. Tags are easily configured on the right-hand side underneath Categories right here. In fact, if you start typing a tag name, WordPress will go and find tags that are already used so that you can click on them and click Add. Now that I've updated all 3 posts with the featured tag, let's take a look at the home page. Nice! Now each of those images is clickable to the post itself, regardless of what's displayed down here on the home page. Just a couple last things to point out in this video that you may notice. First, this smaller 800 pixel image isn't large enough to fit the full image area in the featured posts. So I might use a larger 1600 wide image so that this fills up the content area. Secondly, 2014 is designed so that any post that's in the featured area up top does not repeat itself down in the content area. You can replace this image if you like, or just leave it alone. In this video, you changed the theme of the website while keeping the existing content. Then, you created 3 sample posts to conform to the style presented in the 2014 theme, and then used a tag to place them in the featured posts area of the homepage. By using the built-in image editor inside the WordPress media library, you were able to change some of the images to adjust for what the theme needed. Next, you'll revise the navigation and remaining widgets to adjust the content even further for the theme, making the site look great.